What's up, guys? We're back with episode 10. And I just want to first and foremost thank everybody who's been on the journey thus far from day one and for everybody who's been climbing on board ever since. Um, so we appreciate everybody, man. And again, this is just, we're two guys who want to be better than we were yesterday and are only hoping that our what we've learned on the way can help you guys as well. So, with that being said, today is episode 10, and we're going to be talking about anxiety. So, anxiety. This, I want to say, is anxiety goes, everybody goes through it, everybody has gone through it, and everybody will go through it. It's one of the most human and universal things that we've spoken on thus far. I thought we'd start by breaking down how anxiety really works and how to understand it better, since most people misunderstand it and as a result have a harder time trying to conquer it. So, anxiety at face value is the fear of the future or the fear of unknown. The way I like to say it is thinking about point C when you're at point A. So, that's my basic definition of it. I'm going to give it to Joe and see what he has to say.
Yeah, man, I love that. And that really is just the face value definition of anxiety. Anxiety is a bitch and we all experience it, right? It's your body's natural way of telling you, hey, look out. I also think of it as a performance indicator. So, for example, stage fright or concern about your business. When you feel anxiety about these two specific things, it probably means you're not preparing or executing how you should. You need to do better, is what it's telling you. So, you're worried because you don't feel confident in your abilities to perform due to a lack of preparation or need to course correct ASAP. That is another take on anxiety. A little different from Geo's face value definition of anxiety, but that's just how I look at it now, right? I obviously, suffer from anxiety. I've suffered from anxiety. People that have known me, since like the young days when I was in high school, I definitely had my battle with it. But um, anxiety can be a performance indicator as well too.
Yeah, man. So it's again, anxiety is one of those things where it's on a person to person basis. It's not just nobody goes through it. No person goes through it the same way as the next.
One
Everybody
thousand
faces it
percent.
differently.
1000%.
It's so I don't think this episode is mainly about we wanted to touch about how to diagnose it or how to go about conquering it, but just about understanding it. Because when people start to understand it, how is what I like to call the first step in learning to overcome it. Because again, I've had my fair share of battles with it. I still do, just not nearly as bad as I did in prior years or like I did in the past. So something I like to do is just help people understand as to how anxiety really works. Understanding how anxiety works is pretty simple when you really dissect it. You know, External forces don't give us anxiety. We create our own anxiety in response to said forces. I'm going to quote a old quote from an ancient Stoic philosopher, Epictetus, and that is, "It's not things that it's not things that upset us, but our judgment about things that upset us." So basically, what Epictetus is telling us is that external forces cannot make us feel any type of way. They're just that. They're external forces. They're things outside of our own minds and bodies that cannot force us to feel a type of way. We choose to create our own emotional reaction to external forces, For example, like if you get anxious in certain situations, maybe a social setting per se, those external situations and settings don't give you anxiety. Your mind is responding to those settings in an anxious manner. So I know I'm saying this because I know everybody's like, oh, I can't do this because that gives me anxiety. This gives me anxiety. I get anxiety when I do that. Nothing gives you anxiety. It may not be, you may be doing it subconscious, but you choose to respond to certain things based on anxiety.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And damn, I mean, you really. So, just your take on that was really eye-opening for me too. Anxiety is our perception of things. So, our perception of things is what causes us anxiety, not the actual thing itself. My personal experience with anxiety, I've received clinical diagnosis for anxiety. So, I've received several diagnoses for various anxiety disorders. And I was on a cocktail of medications for many years when I was younger, since the age of 15. So the anxiety I dealt with then is very different from my anxiety now. And I believe that every human being will experience some form of psychopathology, mental illness in their life, whether it's long term or short term, whether it's short term, so whether it's, rehearsing for like a concert or rehearsing for a speech you're going to give or a presentation you're going to give at work, or long term, whether it's something you do struggle with, that you do need professional help with. Me personally, over time, I've gotten better at managing my anxiety, and everyone's experience with anxiety is different. Just like how you touched upon, you said it in the beginning of this episode, everyone experiences anxiety differently. My experience with anxiety is very much different than that of Gio or anyone viewing this. And whoever's viewing this and Gio's experience is very much different than mine or anyone else. So I can only speak on what's helped me. And what helped me was getting professional help. I mean, I was kind of forced to get it, but that's besides the point. The point is that I got professional help, and I was actually institutionalized for a portion of high school when I was younger because my anxiety was so debilitating. So, I think that it's okay to seek out help when you feel as though you need it. Some people might need medication, some people might need psychotherapy. I personally was on everything, and I'm much better now and am at a place mentally that I never thought I would be at. In addition to professional help, I took accountability for my own mental state and made the personal decision to quit all my medication cold turkey and invest in other ways of bettering my mental health, such as taking up creative outlets and personal fitness more seriously. So I recommend that if someone experiences crippling anxiety, to get professional help and begin your journey with someone that understands the clinical side of anxiety. Whether it's a psychiatrist, a therapist, um, someone that you trust or love, that you hold dear to you, that you really respect, someone that can help guide you through that, or someone that has gone through it themselves, someone that can help you navigate your battle with anxiety. I really implore one to develop habits and routines that are irrespective of medication or professional services. So you really should explore other ways of dealing with anxiety instead of depending on medication or a therapist too. Just so that you are more comfortable in yourself and your ability to handle it. So let's say for your medication one day, you're not freaking out because I didn't take my Klonopin, or my Ativan or my Zoloft, because you know that you have habits and things that you can do that can get you in a better mental spot all on your own without the help of all that. Yeah, you might need that. That's okay, but there's nothing wrong with that. Um, you know, but being able to better navigate anxiety by your own efforts without anything else is really helpful and helps you slowly wean off of that help, that support system. You may have to, you may not. But that's what's helped me, and I can only speak on what has helped me personally. I still experience anxiety to this day, but nowhere near to the extent that I used to, right? And I think that just in general, when you're going through shit, when you're dealing with anything, understanding that your situation won't be the way it is forever is something that can provide a lot of comfort for people too. And understanding that you're not alone as well too. That's what's helped me.
Yeah, man. So again, like everybody's fight with anxiety is different. So that's why going into this episode, I didn't want to just say like, "Hey, this is how to conquer anxiety," because I could tell you what has worked for me. It may not work for person A, B, C, or D, Like
Yeah.
what worked for me may not work for you. So definitely something I encourage people to do is always get help. And when people hear that, they always think, oh, like that means psychiatry, get a therapist. And I'm not dismissing that because there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Like I've seen psychiatrists, I've seen therapists for most of my life.
Yeah.
And I'll say this to camera, I'll say this to you.
Me too. Me too,
Joe,
man.
you were the biggest part of, my comeback from bouts with anxiety. I still go through it, but like we've said, anxiety is one of those problems that doesn't go away. You just learn to control it and overcome it. So you trade your problems for better problems.
Yeah.
Now, everyone's fight is different with anxiety is different. So that's why in regards to at least a personal application of how others can apply it to their lives, some things that have helped me in my battles is at least in taking the first step to overcoming it is practicing mindfulness. Go for a walk, take in the ambiance of your surroundings. For an added bonus, I always like to challenge people to take out their headphones. Forget your music, listen to the birds chirping, the whatever it is, the wind hitting your skin, the cars, whatever is going on in your surroundings. Take in that. Take in being in the here and now. That's for me, that's something that's helped me tremendously. And challenge your thoughts. Like something I like to do is whenever I have intrusive thoughts, and this is something because I've gone through health anxiety where I've felt like a whole bunch of physical manifestation of anxiety, a whole bunch of physical symptoms like chest pains, chest tightness, shortness of breath. I can go on and on all day, but um, I felt a whole bunch of stuff like that. And something I know this is, I can say this because a lot of people deal with this, is that the sensations you feel may be real, but the thoughts aren't. So challenge your thoughts. Remind yourself that you control them and not the other way around. When you take control of your intrusive thoughts, you strip them from the power that they hold over you. So this I feel this was a really good episode. You know, like again, anxiety is the most probably the most human thing that we've spoken upon because I feel as though anybody watching has gone through, is going through, or will go through it at some point. So again, it's not something that you completely overcome. It's always going to be there. It's always going to be the elephant in the room. It's just a matter of how you deal with it. And like I said in our episode on vices, look at it in the face and say, "Fuck you, I'm good."
100%, man. I fucking love that. And you're right about that. What you described about taking your headphones out and focusing on the present, that is called grounding. So it's actually something you learn in therapy. Grounding is something that you do when you're in the middle of a panic attack. And it's something that you do that goes like this. So you're in a room, you're having a panic attack, and you look around and you say, okay, where am I? I'm in North America. Okay, where am I in North America? I am in Texas, or I'm in New Jersey. Okay, I am in, let's say, Union County, or I am in, I'm in Dallas, right? Okay, what street am I on? I'm on this street. I am on Morris Ave. I am on Main Street. I am on Brook Hollow Boulevard. Okay, I am surrounded by four walls and I feel my feet in my sneakers and my shoes. I also see the colors on the walls, right? So you start breaking down your thoughts, and the trick in this is actually removing the focus, the mental focus from the panic and the anxiety into the present moment. Right. So you start big and you start decreasing and minimizing where you're at down to the details so that your mind calms down. It's very similar to when people say driving is therapeutic for me, or exercise is therapeutic for me, or riding my bike is therapeutic for me, or getting on my motorcycle is therapeutic. The therapy isn't in what you're doing. The therapy is in redirecting what your mind is focusing on something else. You're focused on switching the gears on your bike. You're focused on braking and not killing yourself on your bike. That's the therapy. The therapy is being so focused on what you're doing that you're so present in the moment. You're focused on shifting gears from second to third, from fourth to second, to slow down or speed up, to go up a hill or whatever. And that's the therapy. The therapy is being so present in what you're doing in the moment. So I implore anyone, that may have an anxiety attack, or someone that suffers from anxiety, to practice that grounding. You can Google grounding, and that's what, Google will spit back at you. Ways to practice grounding. Again, too, doing things that demand your 100% focus is also a therapeutic outlet. Like for me, riding my bike, and I'm sure for Gio too, like riding your bike is one of the most therapeutic things you can do because you're so focused on the there and now and not dying on your motorcycle, that's the therapy in it, being focused on that. Um, but yeah, like back to, wrap it all up, really good episode. And, we just really hope that anyone suffering with anxiety, gets the help that they need, and they don't feel like getting professional help, clinical help is taboo. Like me and Gio both done it. People need it, and it's okay to need that. You may or may not need it for an extended period of time, and that's fine. The point is to be able to not need it at a point, and you can be self-sufficient, and you will get there. I mean, that's possible. We've done it. Anyone can do it too. It's just what you put in is what you get out. So, as always, make sure you like, subscribe, follow us on Instagram. Leave your comments down below. If anything that we've shared with you today has helped you with your anxiety, let us know, and we will see you on the next episode.
Till next time, guys, the trajectory is always up. If you can't have a good day, try to have a good night. And remember, you're capable of choosing to have a good day and choosing to be responsible for your own internal state. So, with that being said, go out, have a good day, and make it happen because you're capable of doing so.